So use loud voices, would you please? First, we're going to start by looking at this image. Will you take a quiet moment? We're not going to say anything. We're just going to look at the image top to bottom, side to side. Look at everything in that image and ask in your brain, don't share it out loud, ask in your brain, what's going on in this image? Mrs. Woods, can we turn off the light for just a few seconds?
Yes, I'm glad you said that. I was debating that.
Especially in the back. See how it pops down? I'm going to be quiet again, so let's take some quiet time to look at this. You can handle it with the lights off. Is the recording still working with the lights off?
Yes.
Let's go with lights off because the colors pop, don't they? Raise your hand if you have an idea that you will share. What's going on in this picture? Yeah, and would you tell me your name? Even if I forget it, I'd like to start with that.
Colton. This isn't really something. It's just a question. What's on July 2nd?
Well, we're going to take statements and then maybe questions at the end. My question to you is, what's going on in this picture? Do you want to talk about what you see? Okay, so Colton is drawing our attention down to this corner of the image. And he says July 7th. And his question is, he's wondering what's going on July 7th. What more can we find?
That there's a 4 on the counter, like of the window sill. It looks like there's a 4.
A
there.
4.
It's maybe a calendar.
Okay,
The 4
tell me your name.
Maddie.
Maddie, would you come up here? Because I want to point to the right thing. Maddie is telling us there's a 4 on the counter.
Right there.
Okay, right here. All right, Maddie is pointing this out and saying this is a 4. Maddie, what do you see that makes you say that's a 4?
The shape of it looks like a 4.
Okay, all right, so the shape that Maddie sees on this spot of the entire image makes her think of the number 4. Okay, great. Yes, sir, name first.
Cole.
Cole. Colton and Cole and Maddie. Cole, what's going on in this image?
Well, it looks like the woman is looking out the window, and there's a guy playing a harmonica, I think.
Okay, Cole has identified 2 characters in some of this setting, and I believe this is probably who you're calling the woman. And then there's a man that you say is playing the harmonica,
Maybe.
and you're saying that the woman is looking outside the window. There's so much going on here, Cole. What do you see that makes you say that the man is playing a harmonica?
Because he's holding his hands up to his mouth, and back then, like, they're usually always, like, silver, and that's what kind of...
Okay, so Cole is talking about characters and setting still, and he is pointing out that the hands of this individual are up by the mouth, and silver is what you can see between the 2 hands, and you said back then they were silver. So you've also dated this picture, and you're saying that it's something in the past. So you're telling us about characters and about setting. What more can we find?
There's also
Name.
Ava.
Ava.
There's also kind of not really emotion, but there's different colors in the setting. Like in the back, there's kind of cool colors, and like back here, there's kind of cool colors and like darker colors, and up in front, it's like there's a lighting. So there's like all warm colors up in here, and I do agree with Maddie on the 4.
All right, Ava's looking at the art element of color and really kind of approaching this image like an artist or an art critic, or wondering what the artist might be doing, because Ava's pointing out that in this portion there are cool colors. And if you remember from art instruction, cool colors are blue and green and purple. And that on this side of the painting are what she calls warm colors, like red and yellow and orange. And she took it further and said that maybe the artist is making this look like there's light coming from this direction and shining on this part of the picture because of the colors that were used. Great. What more can we find?
It looks like she's doing laundry.
It looks like she's doing archery. Tell me your name.
Laundry.
Laundry says that it looks like she's... Oh, laundry. Tell me your name. Kayla. Laundry. That's a really interesting. See, I told you. Here. Hannah. said the word laundry. So Hannah has us looking at this woman here. Hannah, you're going to forever be laundry to me. When I see you on the street, I'm just going to say, hi, laundry. Hannah says that there's laundry going on. What do you see that makes you say laundry, Hannah?
Because it looks like she's folding laundry.
Okay, great. Thank you. I appreciate you being willing to let me teach you a bit. Down here, we've got what you're calling laundry. Some might call it a towel or a sheet or a blanket, something that was washed. And you're suggesting that she's holding or folding laundry. Great. What more can we find?
My name's Levi. It looks like there's something over her head, like a veil or something.
Did you say Levi?
Yes.
Levi has our attention up here now in this corner and looking at what might be on the head of this image, which many of you are calling a woman or a female, or you're using the pronoun she. And so Levi is drawing our attention to maybe some clothing or a headdress of some kind. What more can we find? Yes?
My name's Kennedy, and the setting, it kind of reminds me, or not reminds me, but it makes me think of that it's peaceful outside because of it's just, no one's there, and the cool colors make it peaceful to me. And then inside, it just looks like she's, like, yeah, the whole setting's peaceful.
Okay.
The colors.
So Kennedy's using the word peaceful. She's using some evidence. I know you're working on evidence. Cool colors made you think of being peaceful. You also said something about not seeing anybody. What do you see that makes you say that you're not seeing anybody?
Well, the houses in the back, they're all dark, and it looks like that everyone would be in, like, the windows are dark, and I'm guessing that there's no light on inside.
See, we thought she'd already stated the evidence, but I heard some more evidence. That's why I asked. I really appreciate that, Kennedy. Kennedy's actually asking us to look at the windows of the houses or the buildings that are outside this window, and suggesting that maybe everyone's in bed for the night, or that there's nobody there, that it looks dark to her, and that gives her a quiet, peaceful sense. Great. What more can we find? Someone that hasn't shared. Tell me your name.
Gavin.
Gavin.
In the background behind the man, it looks like there's like some kind of church or cathedral in the background.
Okay, and I've been standing in front of Gavin this whole time, and he still could see some building that I just called a building. Now he's got us thinking about this as a church or a cathedral. Gavin, what do you see that makes you say church or cathedral?
I think it's a church because there's like stained glass with like art on it. So, and at the top there's like a orange like spike at the top.
Okay, so from Gavin's experience with churches, stained glass can be a part of some churches, and Gavin sees this as a stained glass with some art. Stained glass is art. And Gavin's also asking us to look at the spire or the tower or what's up at the top that makes him also think of church or cathedral when he sees this building. What more can we find way back in the corner?
It looks like it's nighttime.
Matt says it looks like it's nighttime. What do you see, Matt, that makes you say it looks like nighttime?
The sky is dark blue and white.
The sky is dark blue and I still didn't hear you. No, Matt said the sky is dark and what? What else did you say? Dark blue. So dark blue is making Matt think that it's nighttime as opposed to what color would it be during the daytime then?
Lighter blue.
Maybe a lighter blue. So once again, like Ava was asking us to look at cool colors and warm colors, Matt is suggesting that the dark blue might mean nighttime as opposed to a light blue or a clearer color for daytime. What more can we find right there?
My name is Bella, and I think, like how Ava said, it's like two opposite sides, so like light and dark. And it could be like day, like kind of like day on one side and like night on the other.
Okay, so Bella is agreeing with Ava and looking at the cool colors and the warm colors, but she went right after Matt, who talked about dark blue being nighttime. So she's thinking in her mind that this might be daytime represented and this might be nighttime. We're wondering what the artist might be representing with those colors. Great, what more can we find?
My name's Elliot, and I think it's kind of maybe during like a solar eclipse, because if you look at the moon, it's kind of dark. Because it looks like the solar eclipse is happening, because you can only see the outside of the moon and not the middle of it.
Okay, so Elliot is pinpointing right there. He's kind of building on the fact that Matt thinks this is nighttime and suggesting that the outer ring, this yellow ring, might be the moon, and suggesting also that the inner ring, or the inner space that's dark, might indicate that it's an eclipse. So what do you see? I know you've said a little bit. What do you see, Elliot, that says this is an eclipse?
Because last year when it happened, it kind of looked like that. It was dark in the middle and right on the outside.
So he has experience. So Elliot has seen this, or seen news of it, or pictures of it. And last year we had something that indicated that this would be what an eclipse looks like. Great. What more can we find?
My name is Jenna, and I wanna. Can I come up and look
You
at
bet, Jenna. Come on up.
the woman's expression?
So Jenna has us looking over on this side. Let's see what she's going to point out and listen to what she has to say.
She kind of has an unneutral expression, like she's not really thinking of anything.
Okay, it could be hard to see back there. That's why Jenna had to come up. But Jenna's looking at the expression on this face. I think probably trying to build some understanding of what's going on. Jenna, what do you see that makes you say the word neutral?
She doesn't really have a smile on her face, and she's not necessarily frowning. It's just kind of a straight face, just staring.
Okay, so Jenna, her understanding of facial expressions might be that there's a lot to be told in the mouth. And it could be smiling or it could be frowning, and that Jenna might be reading us and our emotions based on what our mouth looks like. And according to Jenna, this looks pretty neutral. It's not smiling, it's not frowning. What more can we find? Yes,
My name is Ben.
that's coming up.
I noticed this. I'm kind of agreeing with everybody that talked about the sky, because I kind of noticed this up here, and how it contrasts from the phase over to nighttime and starting at the day. Mostly, I think that's the best way of seeing sort that day and phase into night.
Okay, so Ben is also looking at this picture as being maybe divided down the middle, and agreeing with some of you that these cool colors and some of the things that you see symbolize nighttime or quiet or everybody gone, and that this side that has the warm colors, particularly right up here, might represent daytime. And Ben, I'm going to ask you to be more specific. What do you see that makes you say daytime when I point to this section?
I see like a lighter blue in there, and the white kind of like stands out as like clouds.
Okay, so earlier we were talking about dark blue as opposed to light blue. Here, Ben is asking us to look at the light blue. There is light blue, and that the white might represent clouds in his schema. Great, I used one of your words, Mrs. What more can we find?
I was gonna add on to Ben's. What if it's a wall? Yeah, that's what I think. Why? Because it looks like she's in a house, and that's a window.
Oh, I've already forgotten your name.
Thomas.
Thomas. Did you say Thomas?
No.
That's why I forgot. Thomas is building on Ben. I love the fact that you're building on what he's saying instead of disagreeing. I've been doing this conversation in a lot of second grade classrooms, and they do that. I agree with so-and-so. I don't agree with so-and-so. You're building off of Ben and suggesting maybe it's not daytime or nighttime, or maybe the artist represents daytime, but Thomas thinks this is a wall, and that this portion that Ben pointed out is simply part of the wall of an indoor room.
Yeah, she could have like painted the wall of like. Oh yeah. She could have painted it like a sunset.
So this person here that you're calling a she could be in this room and live in this room and have painted this wall, and it could be a sunset or some kind of painting.
Yeah, because the reason why I think it's like a sunset is because if you look in the top right of the picture, it has like in the wall part, it looks like there's a sun, and then the clouds are turning the sun's color.
Okay, so Thomas is expanding upon his comment and saying that even the light blue and the white is part of your thinking, but so is this coloring right here, and it may even be a sun sunrise or a sunset, and that just reinforces in his mind that this person might be an artist who painted something on her wall, and that's part of the wall right there. Let me just stop by saying, you guys are doing really, really well. I don't know how this compares. We've only got 5 minutes. Okay, we got 5 minutes. I want to get to people who haven't shared. What more can we find? Yes?
My name is Sophia, and how you were saying how it could be an artist on the top left, right, it looks like she could have made something that it could have been, yeah,
Curtain.
she could have made something as, she could be an artist, and she, like,
Okay, so Sophia's got our attention now over here, building on the fact that this woman may be an artist, or this person may be an artist, and over here, you're suggesting she may have made this, whatever this is.
yeah, and also the bell on her head, she could have made that as well.
Okay, so Sophia is building on what I don't remember who brought this to our attention, and is calling this a veil. And Sophia's actually comparing how similar this thing on her head that she's calling a veil might be to this thing here that the woman may have created. What more can we find? And yes, sir.
My name is Alexis, and it looks like it's kind of like a booth.
Okay, tell me your name again, Lexus?
Yeah.
And help me understand where you're looking when you say the word booth, Lexus.
Because, like,
Do you want to come up and point, or can you describe for
it
me?
looks not too big, but not too small.
The whole thing looks like a booth. Okay, so this whole image in Lexus' mind might be a booth. What do you see that makes you say the word booth?
Little, like, window opening.
Okay, so this window that we've been talking about in Lexus's mind might be a window of a booth, and that this person is inside of the booth. Maybe this person then is outside of the booth. What more can we find? Last one right here, because I think everybody else has shared.
And on the windows, looks like they were like playing cards. They have 2 cards.
Okay, great. You said it, and I lost it. Your name again? Paige. Paige is asking us to look on what she's calling the window sill. This bottom portion of the window she calls a window sill, and she calls these playing cards. And I think you're just adding on to some earlier comments about what these things were here. Okay, I'm going to stop the BTS, but keep going. I just want to say this was awesome. You guys really know how to listen to each other, and you really know how to share what you're thinking is going on in your brain, and you know how to look at stuff. If you didn't share, it doesn't mean you weren't thinking or looking at stuff. I know we were all looking really carefully at this image. But what I like about BTS is now we're done. How many of you have been in a classroom where like a PTA parent would come in and do artists and tell you about the artist, and then you'd make a little bit of something?
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you what this is called. I'm not going to tell you who the artist is, because I don't know. I know where to find it, and I will send it to you, Mrs. Woods, so you can have it. If you really want to know about what's going on in the picture, then you could look it up for yourself, because you've got some symbolism, you've got some actions and ideas in your brain that you're not certain about. It'd be a perfect opportunity to continue to write down some of your thoughts and evidence, but then it'd be great to find out what the truth is, and who's the only person that knows what's going on in this picture? The artist. The artist painted this and is trying to communicate something to us, and our work that we're doing right now is to try and figure out what's going on in the mind of the artist. Great job, Mrs. Woods. What else would you want to do with this? Because there's 2 minutes.